When I asked the CEO for a raise, he laughed. He told me I should just be grateful to have a job. I didn't argue. I simply nodded and left the office that night without another word. 1 year later, he found out the company had been bought by a holding group and he was fired. My name is George. I am 45 years old and I have worked at the same company for over 15 years. I started as a junior manager and over time became a senior manager. I have always been dedicated to my work. Every day I arrive at the office early and leave late. My job is important to me and I take pride in doing it well. I have helped the company grow through new projects and strong leadership. I have always tried to be fair and listen to my team. I believe in hard work and loyalty. The office is a busy place. People come and go, working hard to meet deadlines and deliver results. I have a few colleagues who have been with the company as long as I have. There is Sarah, who is always focused and dependable. I can trust her with any task. Then there is Mike, who brings a sense of humor to the office. He can always lighten the mood during stressful times. We have a good team and we support each other. The company recently had a great year. Profits were up and everyone worked hard to achieve this success. I felt it was time to ask for a raise. It had been a long time since my last one, and I believed my contributions deserved recognition. I built up the courage to speak to the CEO. I prepared my points and went to his office. The CEO was a busy man. He often seemed distant and focused on numbers more than people. I asked for a moment of his time. I explained my role and the projects I had led. I spoke about the team's success and how we helped the company grow. I then asked if I could be considered for a raise. I believed it was fair given the work I had done. To my surprise, the CEO laughed. He told me I should be grateful just to have a job. His words stung. I worked hard for the company and I thought my efforts were valued. But in that moment, I felt small and unimportant. I did not argue or show my feelings. Instead, I thanked him for his time and left his office. As I returned to my desk, I felt a mix of emotions. I was angry, disappointed, and hurt. But I knew I had to stay composed. I did not want my team to see me upset. I took a deep breath and focused on my work. Inside, though, something changed. I realized that perhaps my loyalty and hard work were not valued as I had thought. This realization sparked something in me. A determination to make a change. I left the office that day with a new sense of purpose. I would not let this setback define me. I would find a way to prove my worth even if it meant looking beyond the company I had served for so long. As I walked home, I thought about my future. I knew it was time to take control and not let others decide my fate. That night, I sat down and made a list of my skills and achievements. I wanted to remind myself of my value. I also began to consider other opportunities. Perhaps it was time to explore new paths. I knew it would not be easy, but I was ready for the challenge. I felt a mix of fear and excitement about the unknown, but I knew I had to act. The next day, I returned to the office with a new mindset. I was still dedicated to my team and my work, but I also kept my eyes open for new possibilities. I started to pay more attention to the company's overall health and management. I realized that understanding the bigger picture could be important for my future. I kept my plans to myself, not wanting to raise suspicion or cause concern among my colleagues. But inside, I felt a renewed sense of drive. I was ready to take the next step, whatever that might be. This was the beginning of a new chapter in my life, and I was determined to make it count. After the meeting with the CEO, I spent many nights reflecting on my career. I thought about all the years I had given to the company, the late nights, and the weekends lost to work. I realized that, despite my dedication, my efforts were not truly valued. This understanding was a turning point for me. I considered what I wanted from my career and how I could achieve it. I started by looking into the company's financial health. I wanted to understand more about the business I had been part of for so long. As I examined the financial reports and market data, I noticed some vulnerabilities. The company had grown, but there were weaknesses in its market position. The management structure also seemed fragile. I realized these were things I had overlooked before, trusting that everything was running smoothly. During this time, I reached out to my friend Alex. Alex was an investor and knew a lot about the corporate world. We met for coffee and I shared my thoughts and frustrations. Alex listened and offered his insights. He suggested that I consider new opportunities or even acquiring the company myself. At first, the idea sounded too ambitious. I had never thought about owning a company. But Alex explained the concept of a holding group. He said it could be a way to gain control and make necessary changes. Alex's words stayed with me. The idea of a holding group was intriguing but also daunting. It would mean a complete career change and a significant risk. I knew little about acquisitions or forming holding groups. However, the thought of having control and making a real impact was appealing. I started to research more about the process and what it would involve. I realized that this path would require careful planning and support from others. It was not something I could do alone. I needed allies and investors who shared my vision for the company. I began to consider who might be interested in such an endeavor. I knew there were others who were dissatisfied with the current leadership. They too might see the potential for change. Despite my interest, I was hesitant. This was a new and uncertain journey. I thought about the risks and what it would mean for my career and future. But the more I thought about it, the more I felt it was a chance worth taking. I knew I had to be strategic and careful. It was important to gather information and build a strong plan before making any moves. I continued to meet with Alex. We talked about the steps needed to form a holding group and acquire the company. Alex offered his support and knowledge. He believed in my vision and was excited about the possibilities. His enthusiasm was contagious, and I started to feel more confident about the idea. I also began attending networking events. I wanted to meet potential investors and allies. At these events, I listened and learned. I heard others express their dissatisfaction with the current leadership. I realized there was a shared desire for change. Slowly, I started to build a coalition of people who believed in the potential for a new direction. Throughout all this, I kept my intentions secret from my colleagues. I did not want to raise suspicion or cause unrest, but I did subtly encourage them to think about their own futures and the company's direction. I wanted them to be open to the idea of change, even if they didn't know what was coming. As I moved forward, I felt a mix of fear and excitement. This was a huge step and the risks were real. But I also felt a sense of purpose and determination. I was ready to take control of my career and make a difference. The path ahead was uncertain, but I was willing to take the chance. I knew that with careful planning and the right support, I could achieve something significant. This was just the beginning, and I was prepared for the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. With the idea of the holding group in mind, I decided to take action. I knew it was time to gather more information about the company. I needed to understand its financial status and the CEO's management style better. I started by discreetly reviewing internal reports. I paid attention to details I had previously overlooked. I wanted to see the full picture of the company's operations. As I dug deeper, I noticed more signs of the company's weaknesses. There were inefficiencies in how resources were managed. The CEO's decisions often prioritized short-term gains over long-term stability. This approach left the company vulnerable. I documented these findings, knowing they would be important for my plan. Meanwhile, I continued attending networking events. These events were crucial for meeting potential investors. At one event, I met a group of investors who were interested in new opportunities. They were dissatisfied with the current leadership and open to change. I listened to their concerns and shared my vision for the company. I spoke about the potential for growth and innovation under new leadership. My ideas resonated with them, and they were willing to explore further discussions. With this support, Alex and I began to create a strategic plan. We outlined the steps needed to form a holding group and acquire the company. The plan included identifying key investors and allies who shared our vision. We discussed how to build a coalition of support. This coalition would be essential for the acquisition to succeed. We also considered the financial aspects. We needed to ensure that the holding group had enough capital to buy out the company. I spent time reviewing financial projections and potential funding sources. It was important to show investors that our plan was viable and profitable. As the plan took shape, I kept my intentions secret from my colleagues. I maintained my usual demeanor at work, not wanting to raise suspicion. But I did subtly encourage my team to think about their own futures. I wanted them to consider what they wanted from their careers and the company. I hoped they would be open to the idea of change when the time came. One day, I had a conversation with Sarah, my loyal colleague. She noticed I seemed different, more focused. She asked if everything was okay. I assured her I was fine, but I also hinted at the possibility of exciting changes ahead. I valued Sarah's trust and wanted her to know that something positive was on the horizon. Despite the progress, there were challenges. We faced a significant hurdle when one key investor hesitated. This hesitation threatened to derail the entire plan. Without this investor's support, the holding group might not have enough backing. The situation required careful handling. I knew it was time to use my negotiation skills to keep the plan on track. I arranged a meeting with the hesitant investor. I wanted to understand their concerns and address them directly. During the meeting, I listened carefully and explained our vision in detail. I highlighted the potential for growth and the benefits of new leadership. I also reassured them about the financial stability of our plan. The negotiation was tense, but I remained composed and focused. I knew that convincing this investor was crucial for the success of the holding group. After much discussion, the investor finally agreed to support our plan. Their decision was a turning point, bringing us closer to our goal. With this success, the holding group was officially formed. We were ready to move forward with the acquisition. I felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. The journey was far from over, but we had made significant progress. I knew there would be more challenges ahead, but I was prepared to face them. As I continued my daily responsibilities, I felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. The stakes were high, but so were the rewards. I was ready to take the next steps, knowing that with careful planning and the right support, we could achieve something great. This was the beginning of a new chapter for the company and for me. I was determined to see it through to the end. With the holding group established, we began the process of acquiring shares. Our strategy was quiet and careful. We needed to stay under the CEO's radar. I continued my work at the office, balancing my usual tasks with the intricacies of the acquisition plan. Each day was a test of patience and focus. I had to act as if nothing had changed, even though everything was different. We bought shares slowly, ensuring that no one noticed our moves. It was crucial to maintain secrecy. If the CEO found out our intentions, he could block our efforts. I kept a low profile, attending meetings and completing projects as usual. I needed to keep everything looking normal. In the office, I noticed Sarah watching me closely. She was perceptive and could tell I was involved in something big. One afternoon, she approached me for a candid conversation. She asked if something was going on. She had seen the signs, and her curiosity was strong. I trusted Sarah and felt she deserved some insight. I took her aside and explained, in simple terms, that I was working on a significant project. I told her it involved the company's future and that I believed it would lead to positive changes. I assured her that her position was secure and that she would be part of this new chapter. Her trust in me was important, and I wanted her support. Sarah listened carefully. She nodded, understanding that I couldn't share all the details yet. She promised to support me and keep her observations to herself. Her loyalty meant a lot to me, and I was grateful for her trust. Despite our careful planning, we faced a significant hurdle. One key investor began to hesitate. Their doubt threatened our entire plan. Without their support, our holding group might not succeed. This was a critical moment, and I had to act fast. I arranged a meeting with this investor to discuss their concerns. It was crucial to address their doubts and reassure them of our vision. During the meeting, I listened to their worries and explained our strategy in detail. I highlighted the potential for growth and the benefits of new leadership. I showed them our financial projections and the careful planning we had done. The negotiation was intense. I had to remain calm and persuasive. I knew that convincing this investor was essential. After a long discussion, they finally agreed to continue their support. Their decision was a relief and a turning point for our group. With this hurdle cleared, we continued with our plan. The holding group was stronger than ever, and we were ready for the final steps. I felt a renewed sense of determination. We had come a long way, and the goal was within reach. Each day, I balanced my regular work with the responsibilities of managing the acquisition. It was challenging but exciting. I felt a mix of anticipation and nerves. The stakes were high, but so were the potential rewards. I knew that with continued focus and support, we could achieve something great. As we moved closer to our goal, I reflected on the journey so far. I had learned a lot about leadership, negotiation, and the importance of trust. The experience had taught me the value of patience and persistence. I was more determined than ever to see the plan succeed. The acquisition was nearing its climax. The groundwork was laid, and we were ready to make our move. I knew there would be challenges ahead, but I was prepared to face them. This was a pivotal moment for the company and for me. I was ready to lead us into a new chapter, one that promised growth and innovation. The journey was far from over, but I was confident in our path forward. With everything in place, the time had come for the holding group to make its move. The plan was ready, and the moment was finally here. I felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. We had worked hard to reach this point, and now it was time to see it through. We chose a board meeting to announce the acquisition. The setting was perfect for revealing our plans. The room was filled with board members and executives, all expecting a regular meeting. No one anticipated what was about to happen. As the meeting began, I sat quietly, waiting for the right moment. The CEO started with his usual updates. He talked about numbers and projections, unaware of the storm about to hit. I felt a sense of calm determination. This was the moment I had prepared for. When the time came, I stood up. I addressed the room, introducing the holding group and our intentions. I explained the acquisition and our vision for the company's future. The room went silent. Shocked faces turned towards me, trying to process the unexpected news. The CEO was caught off guard. He had no idea about the holding group's existence or how we had quietly acquired enough shares. His expression was a mix of disbelief and anger. He realized too late that he had overlooked the signs. I continued, outlining the benefits of the acquisition. I spoke about the opportunity for growth and innovation under new leadership. I assured the board that our intentions were to strengthen the company and secure its future. I emphasized my commitment to the company and my belief in its potential. The board members listened, some nodding in agreement. They saw the logic in our plan and the need for a fresh direction. I felt their support growing as I spoke. It was important to win their trust and show them the value of our vision. The CEO tried to regain control, questioning our motives and the legitimacy of our plan. But the evidence was clear. We had done everything by the book, and our intentions were solid. The board saw this and began to understand the necessity of change. As the meeting progressed, I presented our strategy in detail. I highlighted the strengths of the holding group and our plans for the transition. I assured everyone that the company's employees would be valued and secure. It was crucial to address any fears and build confidence in our leadership. The CEO's resistance weakened as the board saw the potential benefits. It was clear that the current leadership had its shortcomings. The board began to agree that a new approach could bring positive changes. By the end of the meeting, the mood had shifted. The board was on board with the acquisition, recognizing the need for a new path. The CEO realized his oversight and the strength of our position. He had no choice but to accept the outcome. After the meeting, I felt a sense of satisfaction. The plan had worked and the goal was achieved. We had successfully positioned ourselves as the new leaders of the company. It was a moment of triumph and validation of all the hard work. I knew this was just the beginning. There was much to do to ensure a smooth transition and implement our vision. The journey ahead would be challenging, but I was ready to lead the company into this new chapter. I felt confident in our ability to make a positive impact and drive the company forward. This was a significant milestone, not just for the company but for me personally. I had taken a risk and achieved something I once thought impossible. The future was bright and I was ready to embrace the opportunities that lay ahead. This new beginning was a chance to create lasting change and build a company that valued its people and potential. The acquisition was complete and with it came immediate changes. The news spread quickly through the company and reactions varied. Some employees were hopeful while others were unsure. It was a time of transition and I knew I had to lead with confidence and clarity. I stepped into my new role with a clear goal to foster a positive company culture. It was important to show that this change was for the better. I wanted everyone to feel valued and secure in their jobs. The first few weeks were critical. I spent time meeting with various teams, listening to their concerns and ideas. I wanted them to know their voices mattered. One of my first tasks was to reconnect with key colleagues. Sarah was now part of the leadership team. She had proven her loyalty and insight, and I knew she would be a valuable ally. I also reached out to Mike, who brought energy and morale to the office. I wanted him to help maintain a positive atmosphere during this transition. Together, we focused on the immediate challenges. There was initial resistance from some employees. Change can be unsettling, and trust needed to be rebuilt. I knew this would take time and consistent effort. To address these concerns, I implemented open communication policies. We held regular meetings where employees could share their thoughts and ask questions. Transparency was key to rebuilding trust. I wanted everyone to understand our vision and how they fit into it. I also introduced new practices to improve efficiency and satisfaction. We reviewed outdated processes and found ways to streamline operations. These changes were aimed at making work easier and more rewarding for everyone. I encouraged feedback and made adjustments based on team input. As we settled into the new leadership structure, I focused on professional growth. I wanted to invest in our people and their development. We introduced training programs and mentorship opportunities. It was important to show that we cared about their futures and wanted to help them succeed. This approach began to pay off. Gradually, morale improved. Employees started to see the benefits of the new leadership. They felt more engaged and motivated, knowing their contributions were valued. The company's performance also began to reflect these positive changes. Sarah played a crucial role in this transition. Her dedication and insight helped guide our efforts. She was a bridge between leadership and employees, ensuring communication flowed smoothly. Mike, too, was instrumental in keeping the team spirit high. His humor and positivity made even challenging days manageable. As the weeks passed, I saw the company transform. The initial resistance faded, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose. We were building a culture of collaboration and innovation. Employees were more willing to share ideas and take initiative. It was rewarding to see the impact of our efforts. I knew there were still challenges ahead. Change is an ongoing process, and there would always be areas to improve. But I felt confident in our direction and our ability to navigate whatever came next. We had laid a strong foundation, and I was committed to building on it. Reflecting on the journey so far, I felt a sense of fulfillment. The risks and hard work had been worth it. I had taken a chance to create something better, and I was proud of what we had accomplished. The company was thriving, and our people were flourishing. This chapter was just the beginning. There was still much to achieve, and I was excited about the possibilities. With a strong team and a clear vision, I knew we could overcome any obstacle. The future was bright, and I was ready to lead us forward. This was a new beginning, and I was determined to make the most of it. A year has passed since the acquisition. Reflecting on the changes and growth within the company, I feel a deep sense of accomplishment. The journey was challenging, but it was worth every effort. Our company has prospered under the new leadership. The financial performance has improved, and our workforce is rejuvenated. We have created a culture where everyone feels valued and motivated. Walking through the office, I see the changes. The atmosphere is positive and energetic. Employees collaborate and share ideas openly. There is a sense of pride in our work and what we have achieved together. It is rewarding to see the impact of our efforts and know that we have made a difference. I receive feedback from former colleagues who express appreciation for my impact and vision. They tell me how the changes have improved their work experience and personal growth. Their words validate my decision to pursue the acquisition. Knowing that others see the value in what we have done is fulfilling. Sarah and Mike have been essential to our success. Sarah continues to excel in her leadership role, guiding teams with wisdom and fairness. Her commitment to the company and its people is unwavering. Mike, with his humor and positivity, keeps the team morale high. He has a knack for making challenges seem manageable and even enjoyable. Together, we have built a strong leadership team. We have faced challenges, but we have overcome them with determination and teamwork. The initial resistance has turned into support and enthusiasm. Employees are engaged and eager to contribute to our shared goals. The changes we implemented have fostered innovation and efficiency. Reflecting on my personal journey, I feel grateful for the lessons learned. The risks I took have led to growth and fulfillment. I have discovered strengths I did not know I had. The experience has taught me the value of resilience and vision. Leading the company through this transformation has been a privilege. Looking to the future, I feel optimistic and ambitious. There are new challenges and opportunities on the horizon. I know we have the strength and capability to overcome them. Our foundation is strong and our vision is clear. I am confident in our ability to continue thriving and making a positive impact. The past year has been transformative. It has shown me what is possible when we believe in our potential and take bold steps. I am proud of what we have achieved and excited about what lies ahead. This journey has been about more than business success. It has been about creating a place where people can grow and thrive. As I stand in the office, I take a moment to reflect on the path we have traveled. The risks, the hard work, and the determination have brought us here. I am thankful for the support of my team and the trust of my colleagues. Together, we have built something meaningful and lasting. This is not the end of the journey. It is a new beginning. There is still much to achieve, and I am ready to lead us forward. I know that with our strong team and clear vision, we can face any challenge. The future is bright, and I am excited to see where it takes us. In this moment of reflection, I realize how far we have come and how much more we can achieve. I am grateful for the opportunities and the journey. The fulfillment of achieving something once thought impossible is a powerful feeling. I am ready to embrace the future with confidence and determination. This is just the beginning, and I am excited about the possibilities that await us. For more revenge stories, subscribe to the channel.